told stories to his child, attempted to prepare a wonderful life for him later on. The child was foolish, rebelled, played with his mother's toys instead of mine, and so I destroyed them. All of them. And that's my character and my character's life's ambition, and I would say he succeeded. Because he was evil, malicious, and hated small children.
He's a boy, and he has a sadistic father, and he pretty much just goes crazy throughout the rest of his life. I really liked the idea of Christopher Robin going insane, because real life, if you have a talking whatever poo is, then it's not going to work out very well.
He's a disturbed man, emotionally abused by his father. He was really tricked into believing that his adventures with his adventures with his imaginary friends, namely his stuffed animals, were real, and carrying those scars into his adult life, still thinking that those adventures were real. The emotional abuse that his father inflicted on him doesn't really manifest itself until his adult life.
Well, when someone came to me and offered me the role of Christopher Robin, I just thought of all the times I'd played dress up as Christopher Robin in that little, summer skirt, and I really just couldn't refuse. I felt made for it.
My character, Rabbit, was a ferocious little character who always took control of the situation, even though he probably wasn't warranted to do so, and usually ended up in a great heap of mess.
He's a bouncing tiger. Pretty much, he just came into the forest and treats it like it's his own. He was actually an addition to Milne's original characters.
In the same way, I usually take control of the situation, even though I'm not warranted to, and it usually ends up in a big heap of mess.
Well, I look like him. And in fact, we wear the same suit.
I have always had this preoccupation with springs. I never really had a spring tail, and as I've been studying in school, the thing I've been pursuing the most is springs. So I think we share the same interests.
In reality, I'm like him because I have the raincoat, and I still play with my stuffed animals every now and then, and I think that I just really connected with him because in my heart I really am a little boy.
We're both crazy, really, is the main connection.
No, I think I knew that all my friends were imaginary pretty well. I didn't pretend they were real. And I don't think my parents did either. I used to dress up as a lot of fictional characters, but there was a photograph of me dressed as Boober Fraggle. That was a pretty nice one, apparently. And then a lot of more obscure characters from old Disney cartoons from the 80s, and Teddy Ruxpin.
You think this would prepare me for the role of Rabbit, but it did more to really bring me to Kanga. I had a friend, probably when I was 5 or 6. His name was Carrick. I never tried to spell it. I didn't know how to spell it at the time. But he lived in California, and he had a red convertible. I'm guessing it wasn't a Dodge convertible. But we'd always go driving on the beach, me and Carrick, and he had red hair. I think it might have been the red hair that made me name him Carrick.
Yeah, I did. I actually, in all seriousness, I had a lot of imaginary friends as a kid. My sister and I used to pretend that we had like schoolmates or something like that. My sister actually used to dress me up as some of those people, both male and female. That's probably another connection between me and my character is he was, emotionally and psychologically abused by his father. I was emotionally and psychologically abused by my sister, really.
Of course. In fact, all of you are my imaginary friends. This camera, this set, it's all just a fragment of my imagination. Or are you really? I don't even really know.
The most difficult thing about making this movie would have to be making this movie.
For me, the most difficult thing was staying on task, staying focused. You know, we had a lot of interruptions and... hang on one sec. Hey, what's up?
Trying to keep the people working with me from laughing would probably be the most difficult thing.
Do to make him feel
An
better.
impossible child.
Oh, I can't say for sure.
Constant looking at the clock was probably the most common, wondering how many times we're going to take this before he could look at my incredibly devious face without bursting into laughter and to cover up his obvious fear.
The time I ate cat food, I don't think it had as much of an effect on me as it did my character, but it did.
Oh yeah? Yeah, that would be irritating. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, when people call when you're busy, you know, I hate that. I'm not busy right now, but you know, I hate it when that happens.
Providing a voice for the character was the hardest with Christopher Robin. Oh no. It was harder doing the voice of A.A. Milne. When you've read someone's work so much and really absorbed your own idea of their tone, being confronted by the man himself makes you really question if your preconceptions were right. So for the first several takes, I would stutter and tremble. I tried a Western accent for a while, but I'm really glad that I went with the French accent that you see in the film.
You filming me?
Yeah. And it's kind of annoying to have a guy being filmed with the phone in his hand.
Oh yeah, I hate that, don't you?
Yeah, could you turn the phone off?
Yeah, you bet. I'm sorry, what was the question?
Brian's voice surgery. Halfway through the film, we had already shot Brian as a little kid on film, and he had a wonderful voice for it. He was just the perfect image, the perfect sound, because he was a little freshman going on sophomore. So, halfway through the film, he got this big head over being a star. And consequently, he signed up for throat surgery to get larynx implants. And that kind of messed up our plans.
I didn't want them to make me sing like a girl anymore, so I wanted to have a deeper voice, and so I decided to get voice surgery to make my voice deepen instead of wait for it to change on its own. So, you know, I still have the scars. You know, every now and then I look in the mirror and I wonder why I did it because of those scars. They blemished my neck. And then you realize that the product is more important than how you look. I think it worked out fine.
The most difficult thing was performing Brian's throat surgery. I was really underprepared. I had a few drinks in me. I thought they were joking at first, so I'll just cut him up a little bit and then we'll all go home. But no, I mean, Brian really stayed with it, and and once he was passed out, I figured, I guess I have to go through with this.
Was I comfortable with having Peter McNeely as my surgeon? You know, I wasn't, and I think that that's probably the reason why I fainted, but after then, you know, he got the job done, cut out what he needed to, so overall I think I'm pleased with him, and I might not recommend him to anybody, but he got the job done.